Okay, let's hope it all works. This has been the first time in about 6 months since I've tried this, and I tell you, you forget certain things, especially with the streaming. I had a bit of a sweaty moment here because I wasn't sure. Anyway, I want to welcome everybody on Frequency today. I see there's quite a number of people on, and it's a privilege to be back. I have to firstly thank Martin, G8KOE, for stepping in when the lightning struck my station shortly after the last transmission I made. I hadn't plugged out anything, and the next minute a massive strike came and it wiped out the whole station. Everything packed up, brand new computer, you name it, except the Pluto. I don't understand why that didn't go. That was quite lucky. Anyway, Martin, thank you so much for stepping in and helping, and Ed as well, and the chaps that also took over when Ed was not on and Martin wasn't available. Just hope this thing's working on the stream. I hope so. But anyway, we'll can't do much about it now if it doesn't. Let me just check. It's going. Right. Now, I also want to thank Mike and Saro for assisting when I was busy with the software the other day. That was quite a thing to get all the old, because I've gone back to the older version, 3030 or 0303, and so I had to try and remember what the hell did we do, and I've forgotten where I had stuck some of the programs. Don't forget, my whole computer packed up, so I had to replace it with a new setup. And that was a bit of a mystery because I decided to go with an AMD chip. And so got top of the range one. It arrived. We put it in. A new motherboard, the whole story, whole computer, new power supply, the lot. And nothing worked. Didn't work well at all. Anyway, so we sent it back, and they sent it to America, I think. And they found that there was indeed something wrong with the mother chip. So they sent me another one. Now this is all months of time going by. Anyway, it suited me in a one way because I am extremely busy at the salt mine. You can hear the phone ringing now already. Never ends, 24 hours a day. However, I was quite very busy, but I've got the managers trained, so it's a little bit easier on a Sunday, I must admit. Right, let's just have a look, see who's on the actual list. We have Mike. Go back there. I don't know why the mic's not coming on that particular list. Sorry about that. Thanks for letting me know there, Simon. But coming back to the original problem, which Mike also alluded to, was when I had the LAN thing connected, the converter just didn't work. So we're back to just a normal little connector instead of going through the LAN. So we just hot wiring it back, and it seems to work for the time being. Yeah, I don't know why my audio didn't work on the other one, because the mic is in. However, these are the little gremlins that one will have to just sort out with time again. You know, you do a thing every day or every week for years, and you give it a rest for 6 months, and you can't remember now. There was a trick here, trick there. Anyway, we'll get down to that. I'm going to go back to the lists and see if I can get that mic on quickly. Now, why? Yeah. It should be back on now. Keeps on defaulting to the default settings. It should be Kodak. But anyway, I think the audio is okay now. And we want to welcome you back as well there, Phil. Mike Zero PIT, you have been on, of course, quite often, and lovely to see you on, I hope to. And Peter, GW7BZY, I saw you testing earlier, the normal excellent signal. And hi, Simon, woo-woo, and thanks for giving me the tip on the mic. I didn't notice that. And then John, yeah, nice to see you yesterday, John. Glad to see that you have moved, you've settled, and you're also a lot healthier than when I last spoke with you. I'm very pleased to hear that indeed. And hello to Graham, G3VKV. Graham, yeah, I don't know what's happening with the script today, but it doesn't matter. At least we got the guys on the list. So, without further ado, Mike, if you let me just go back to the microphone, to the camera. So, Mike, if you wouldn't mind taking it, I'd be. Oh, RX is working, said Saro. He won't be on. So, Mike, if you could maybe skip him. So, to you, Mike, G0MJW from ZA6YI.
Okay, right. Sorry, Windows did an update. I told it not to, but it refused not to. It did it anyway. And it changed the microphone settings, of course, as it likes to do. So sorry about that. I'm using SDR television at the moment, by the way, rather than the normal script. So, and I've got the volume a little bit low, so I'll just turn that up a bit. So hopefully you're receiving me. I'm receiving me, so I think it's okay. I've been experimenting with the settings, and all seems fine. Just firstly, really good to see you again, Gary. I'm glad that that's all working. And also, be good to see Saro. Hopefully, Saro's will be working. I've not seen him yet, but he's on after me, so we'll see. Right, what am I going to talk about? I'm going to talk about that stuff over there. So I'm just going to find the bench. Well, find the bench camera and go to that. There we go. What can you see there? Well, you can see a ports down 4. Just to demonstrate it works in ports down 4 mode, and a Lime SDR there. Now I'm just going to go and move the antenna and try and improve the signal, so audio will get a bit weaker, but hey ho. There we go. That also proves it's live, of course. So that's my transmitted signal at the moment, and looking at it with the Lime, because my Pluto is on 70s at the moment and my Libra SDR is being used here. Not that it works with the Libra SDR, but what you can see there is the little mini screen I was raving about a couple of weeks ago, with the bezel that I designed in FreeCAD, and on the back of it, and this is where I need to go back and turn it over, you'll be able to see what it's running on. There we go. Which is the PCB that I designed years ago, 2022 actually, and it's got a little fan on it and a few other things as well. And a power supply and what have you. So that's all working fine and working as ports down 4. Still trying to work out if it's producing any QRM on 2 meters, but I think it might be, but it's hard to tell really. Okay, and the other thing I was just going to show Gary, seeing as everyone else will have seen it, is this. I had a set of Chaos a while back that was my sort of QO-100 station. It was a temporary setup from 2019. and it stayed like that from 2019 until a few weeks ago, and that is what it looks like now. And I don't know if I'm going to be able to get it to do what I want to do here. Let me just see if it's actually going to work. That's just some of the insides of it and the Modbus board that it's back. You'll get some random pictures of a Libra SDR taken apart to see what was inside it. And then there's a picture of my dish in the garden, and hopefully then this is what was there before. So there's been an improvement, let's say, in terms of layout. And I don't have a picture in this set that I can show you of the final installed bit, but needless to say, it looks a lot neater than that. So there we go. That's that really. Now, quite a few people on, so I'm not going to be on very long. This thing, by the way, is something that Dave, EEV blog, told us no good, not to buy, useless. So I bought one anyway because it was cute. And actually, it's not all that bad, but it's got quite a few flaws in its user interface. But if you can live with that, it's all right. So Saro, I think you're next. So round to you. VU2OBR G0MG.
Yeah. So, welcome back, Gary. Welcome here. That's Leon, Mike, Ed, Brian, Graham. All of you, very good morning, good afternoon, and good evening. Hope all are listening me, because here very cloudy weather here today. So my RX is still down, but I am trying to use with YouTube link for receiving. Thank you, Gary, for the nice YouTube RX. Hope all are hearing me. I think audio is well, or I don't know. I muted here, so I am unable to watch. There is any command, post it on the website. So I'll try to join with the clean signal next week, I think. So thank you very much, all of you. Thank you, Gary, for encouraging to join again. And Ed, happy birthday to you. And thank you, Mike. Wow. Brian, so next goes to Papayanki to Radio November. Ed, please go ahead and start your transmission. I will be standby.
Right, yeah. I think so it's finished. Yeah, good afternoon, good evening, good morning, wherever you are. And welcome back, Gary. I'm sure the big bird has been missing you. Nice to see you back. Yes, sorry, your audio was sounded as if you were quite some way from the microphone. It also sounded as if you had a dodgy connection on it, or there was wind hitting your microphone. Yeah, the audio was very difficult to follow. But anyhow, what have I been up to? Well, I've been away on one of my trips, and I got back about 3 weeks ago. But then domestic things got in their way on a Sunday, so that's why I haven't been around very much. But what have I been up to? Well, the last time I was on, which may have been, nearly 2 months ago, I'm looking for it now. Can I find it? Yes, I can. I was playing around, not with this. I was playing around with one of these beasts. It's a KC868, and this one is an A16. It's basically it's a controller that is designed for controlling, I believe, a house, lighting in a house, etc. And it has lots of inputs and lots of outputs. And I thought to myself, I wonder if I could use one of these as a controller for my PA. And my PA sits in a wooden cabinet, in a garden cabinet, out in the garden right next to the dish. So it's remotely monitored. If I get my roving cam, my shaky cam as everybody calls it, I put it onto here. That there is my current monitoring screen for my PA, and I've written the software for this new controller, and that now looks like that. The controller isn't actually online, but basically it's a bit more inputs and outputs, temperature and that type of thing. So it's a bit more sophisticated, but it's controlled via Ethernet. And even though it's got wireless on it, obviously you can't use wireless near the dish, so it's over Ethernet. That's what it looks like in its case, and it fits onto a standard 35mm DIN rail, and from our favourite supermarket, it's about 20 quid, which I thought was quite good. But if anybody plays around with something like that, the KC868 series, and you're having problems with Ethernet, etc., drop me a message, because the library has to be altered, and I think to get it to work the way that I want it to work, I think I had to modify 3 libraries to get it to work properly. But it does work, and considering it's 20 quid, I think it's quite good money. I've got one other thing to talk about, but I'll talk about that on my second over. There's quite a few of us. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to hand it over to Peter, and then I'll come back on the second, and I'll tell you what interesting things has been happening with my ports down. So I'm going to hand it over to you then, Peter. I'm going to put up a test card. Where's my test card? Here we go. Here's my test card. And I should...
Okay, GW7BZY, hopefully getting through. A little bit broke up at my end, hopefully it's making it through, I don't know. Anyway, it'll settle in a moment. I don't know if it's my receive end or the transmitter end, it's a little bit confused. Hopefully somebody will tell me if it's as clear as your end, but at your end it's mine. What's going on there? There we are. Not all good. Yeah, good. Good afternoon to you, Gary. Good to see you in there. Yeah, computers can be problematic, can't they? And they seem to have quite a lot of problems altogether. Of course, delivery times, etc. I think are quite long, aren't they? You're part of the world. Mike, yeah, very interesting stuff again, Mike. As always, you're always up to something interesting. And Phil, look forward to seeing your next transmission then, because that'll be good. I thought it would be. Oh yes, I was looking. Yeah, Simon next. But I was thinking of going to Telford today, but it's about 2.5 hours away, and I was in Manchester last week, and you know the missus was like a bit. You don't really want to go all that way another journey, and that and she wouldn't come, so that would be on my own in the car, and she doesn't like me to go far. No reflection of my driving naturally, or my sat nav, because my sat nav in my phone doesn't work very well. It works well, but it's like 5 minutes behind the turning. So. And the car sat nav works okay. Anyway, there we are. I didn't go. And that's the end of that, but it would have been good. I would have taken my camera with me and made a bit of video, but like I say, I didn't go. What else? Looking forward to see Frank. I don't know if I've seen Frank ever. I was just looking online. I've noticed online, and I've just seen the reason why they were so cheap, but C-band dishes. I'm sure Mike's got the answer to C-band dishes. Whether they'll work. I don't know if they'd work receive. Would they work receive? I'm sure they would work transmit, because you can get a fairly cheap 1.8 meter or even a 2.4 meter. But I have noticed the little wrinkle in that is that the postage was £900 or £500, so perhaps not. But that was on just a casual look. I'm sure there'd be some in this country that might be fairly cheap. But would they work? That's a question, open question there. I'm still using. I've had no more success with version 5 of SDR than any previous version. Except now the receive doesn't even fire up. Sometimes it goes and then freeze. Now it doesn't fire up. So that's just the receive, and the transmit is television transmit. Appears to be working, but doesn't produce a signal. But again, my Pluto is still running 303. That shows it there. I think it does. Or should be running 303. I don't know. I don't fancy doing a DFU, the install of the software into the Pluto, because I'm likely to brick it, and I don't really want to spend more money on a Pluto, not whilst it's working. So that's where we are at the moment. Still using DATV Easy version 3.8. I don't know if there's a new version, but it still works and doing sterling service. I am running my camera through NVIDIA broadcast. For what reason, I don't know, just for a bit of the noise reduction. It doesn't work very well for me. Is it getting sunny? Is my head burning? No. There's a bit of varying light here because there's still a little bit of sun in Wales. It has been exceptional this year. Will I live long enough to see another sunny summer? I doubt it very much. They're about 12 years apart, and I'm already 64 nearly. So I'll have to make do with the memories. On that cheerful note, I'll hand it round to, who am I hanging it round to? Simon from GW7BZY with a test card.
Right, so here we go, G4ELI. Speak a bit closer to the microphone, still not used to this 3-second delay. And I've got RF, I'm using a wireless mouse, and it's having a few issues with my transmitted signal. Okie dokie, well, good to see you back, Gary. God, I do look scruffy, don't I? Good to see you back. You have been very noticed by your absence, being harassed on WhatsApp. So I'm just muting the guy who's prodding me at the moment. Been watching, listening to the Formula One, which will be for anyone who's not been paying attention. I won't say what's been happening. I'm using SDR Television Beta 6. Actually, a slighter older install of it than the version I actually released. There's no changes in that. It seems to be bopping along quite nicely, actually. Got one guy in France who's got tremendous issues, but otherwise it's going okay. Plan on making an official release of version 1 in September or so. Give it a week or two, just in case there's anything going wrong with it. But it's met the goal of being a proof of concept. And the reason for the rather poor decoding at the moment is the computer I'm using, which is over there, doesn't have an NVIDIA card. And if you have an NVIDIA card, then the encoding, the video encoding is better. It's noticeably also vastly improved if the video encoding is, if we use a bandwidth of 500 kilosymbols. What sort of bandwidth is it? But if you use a symbol rate of 500. One day, I'm off to Goon Hilly, which is 5 miles away from me in that direction, where there are some 2.7, 3.7 and 4.7 dishes available at a price. I'm using a 1.4 metre dish, and I'm seriously thinking about getting a 2.7. It would save me running a rather big amplifier, which is in that room over there, and I can use my nice little SG Labs amp, and I'd probably mount it on the dish to do that. And also thinking about maybe getting one of the bigger dishes for some EME work. Anyway, and also good afternoon to Mike and Soro, using SDR Television. Brave that you are. Peter, BZY, your transmission was a tad strong. Goon Hilly was not complaining, but you're 1.5 dB louder than the beacon. Not a criticism, just a comment. And if your Pluto does explode and you need to replace it, buy a Libra SDR. I've got 2 of them. I've had finally, sadly, the first Pluto I had, which was given to me by Analog Devices, that turned up its toes. All started getting a bit poorly after about 5 years of abuse. And I'm now using Libra SDRs. Big advantages are better cooling and a greater bandwidth. You're up to 20, I believe if you run overclocked firmware, over 20 megahertz of received bandwidth. So that's a big advantage there. I won't bore you with what I get up to because it's all to do with software, and I don't think too many people here are software developers. The one thing I am working on and off, and is an important part of version 1.1 of SDR Television, is synchronization timing. Gardner timing error detection. It's the one part of the receive chain I haven't got implemented. As a result, I'm a couple of dB weaker, or less sensitive, shall we say, than the mini tuners. Perfectly okay on this satellite if people run a decent signal with enough, with sensible forward error correction. Anyway, so that's life in a very, at the moment, sunny Cornwall, but all of a sudden we're getting showers every hour or two. A shower comes down, and after this net, I'm going to take the dog out. I thought he was down in his basket down there, but he's gone outside, sit in the sun probably. So with that, I'll pass it over to Frank, ZS6GE, from, now, my mouse, that's it, that mouse isn't working, so just bear with me. Over to Frank from G4ELI.
Yeah.
Okay, good day everybody. Nice to see you all again, Gary especially. Yeah, what's new? Just a comment on the C-band dish. I have one of those. 2.7 meters, works very well, of course, on the transmit side with very little power required. But on the receive side, the signal is nowhere near what one would expect. And I seem to have problem finding a focal point, a definite focal point. So besides the problem of reaching reaching the radiator and fiddling around with it, but I tried for a while and I just couldn't even write. Look, it's good enough, but it's something. 10 gig on a C-band dish is not necessarily optimal, let's put it this way, but okay, so that's this one. Yeah, what else? We have been away on a holiday for a moment, on a trip to Sutherland, a small village in the southern part of South Africa, in the middle of nowhere. And let me give you a definition of the middle of nowhere. That's what it looks like. It's in a part of the country called Karoo. It's, call it a semi-desert. There is most certainly a shortage of water there, and to get there, well, from my location, the last 100 kilometers is dirt road, and so every half an hour you'll see another car coming if you're lucky. I think we saw 3 in total. So if you have a breakdown, patience is advised. Now, you might wonder what is in Sutherland. In Sutherland is accumulation of telescopes. I think they have about a dozen there. That's one of them, and you can see here and all around in all sizes. Why have this chosen that spot? It's about 1.8 kilometers high. There is no city nearby, so the night is not polluted with light, and it's cold. So that helps for keeping the air less turbulent. There are a few more, and this one is a sun observatory run by University of Birmingham, and there are quite a few. It's quite international, and mostly they are run by remote control via internet. There is a glass fiber connection down to Cape Town, and from there wherever it's required. This is a South African one. It has a 9-meter dish made up of 91 octagonal 1-meter dishes. And of course the question I had is, what is this tower good for? And apparently it's for aligning the individual mirrors. They send the laser beam down onto the mirrors, and they calibrate and move the mirrors until, I suppose, they get a certain pattern up there. So they can align all 91 of them one after the other with a laser, and then they are in business. That's what it looks like from the inside. lots of racks and things. You don't unfortunately see much of the mirror. It's this part here from the back side, and they can all be individual controlled. Yeah, and the weather can change rather rapidly. So the next day it was rainy, it was cold, near freezing, very unpleasant. So we were actually very lucky. Okay, let me just get myself back here. Yeah, and that was it from me for today. Who is next? John, G7 JTT 36 Golf Echo. And that was it from me for today. Who is next? John, G7 JTT 36 Golf Echo.
Right, let's assume that's working. There we go. Right, good afternoon, evening, morning, whatever it be, but good everything for everybody. Good to see you back, Gary, as everyone said. It's pretty devastating, I guess, with the lightning strike and all the damage it's done. And you've managed to come through it all, and you're back on, which is great. Yeah, as I said the other day, the move from Southampton to Lincoln's all got ahead now. I'm now in the new place. Been here about 5 or 6 months now. Yeah, coming up to about 6 months. So it's been okay, and done too much. Too busy in here, just getting the things set up in here, really. For those that don't know, it's a double garage that can't be used as a garage because it was built 3 years before they built my house. It was originally the sales office, and it's so I'm just trying to block that light off a bit. There we go. It's built too high, so you can't actually get a car in here. It's about 2 foot too high, I suppose, something like that. So we're going to demolish it to build the single garage, is what we paid for. And I said to them, well, can't you just leave that? And I'll accept I can't use it as a garage. Anyway, I had to go through all planning and stuff. So we come to an arrangement where I've now got myself a double garage, stroke shack, stroke junk room, stroke everything. So yeah, one corner of it is sort of dedicated to sort of radio stuff, and the other 3 corners are just full of radio junk and gardening things and whatnot. So it's worked out okay. And yes, a lot has changed since I think we last spoke. I celebrate, well, in fact, in a few days' time, the 7th of September, about a week's time, whatever that is, it's 3 years since I got my diagnosis, which is just amazing. So we've already done, well, this December 1st will be the first, will be 3 years. So that's yeah, I didn't ever imagine that was going to come around eventually, but it is, and I'm fine. Things are not 100%, but they're a lot better than they could be, and a lot better than they were going to be. And I'm still enjoying life, so it's great. What else have we been doing? Not too much, really. I mean, locally there are quite a few TV repeaters up here, but they're all slightly different issues with things. So the local one, GB3VL, which you can see on the screen there, or there, wherever it is there, has a problem with the input. And even though I'm only literally a mile or so away from it, that picture's being received on a 3-element Yagi in the loft on just a bit of satellite coax, nothing special, and just one of those little satellite preamps, and it's receiving it absolutely fine. It's on top of Lincoln Cathedral, but the receive is a different thing at their end, so I can't get into it without running relatively high power and reasonable size Yagi outside directly pointing at it. So it's kind of a bit of a waste of resources, really, putting everything up there at the moment. Plus it's not used that much, which is a shame. But there is also GB3EY, GB3CT and GB3GG, which are all within a sort of 50-60 mile radius, I suppose, of where I am, and 2 of them I should be able to get into. One I'm waiting for some developments to be able to get in there easier, but the main one that I go on to, I stream into, is GB3EY. That works quite well, and there's quite an active number of people on there as well, which is really nice. We've got a big rally coming up next weekend, or this weekend actually, rather. Friday and Saturday we've got the National Ham Fest, which I'm going to attend and help out on the BATC stall with Lyndon and Clive, I believe. So that's going to be good. That's quite a good event, so hopefully I'll pick up some more junk to play with, and that's probably about it, really. I could show you around, but I think I've shown everybody around enough times, unless anyone's desperate to see around, but we can always do it on a second trial. So let's put it on round 2. Graham, G3VZ, VK, I keep wanting to say VZV, but it's not, it's VKV. So round 2, Graham, G7JTT.
Yeah, okay, yeah, John, I think the sound's working. Let's get rid of the echo, or the multiple echoes. Greetings to everybody. Let's get my picture back. There we are. Not in the real shack. It's not quite as tidy as that. I'll give you a glimpse of her a second. There we are. Perhaps I'll leave it on that. No, I'll leave it on the other one for a minute. No, I'll let you have a look at the shack. I think everybody's seen my shack. Yeah, greetings to Gary. Good to see you on. I did see you testing a few times. Everything seems to be okay. And it's quite amazing, isn't it, that the Pluto survived. Had a similar thing, not quite as desperate as yours, I don't think, by the sound. Had a strike on the TV mast quite a few years back. And there was a video recorder in series with a coax, and then the TV, and then the hi-fi on the to amplify the TV. Took out the TV, took out the hi-fi, the recorder, which was one of the old cassette recorders, was perfectly all right. And yet it came down through the cable, round the casing of the recorder, wrecked the TV with a write-off, and took the amplified transistors out of the amplifier, 50 plus 50. And also it blew, it came down through the shack, which the aerial was on the same pole as the TV aerial, came down to the shack, down the cable, and into an FM rig, and vaporized the board where the forward reverse detection was. It's just gone. But apart from that, when I put it back together and put a new strip in there, it worked. So it was quite amazing. Surprising what survives sometimes, but not a very nice thing to have happen. And yeah, nice tidy PA you've got there, Mike. And did see that the other day. I was on the wrong list when I came in on the 16th. I scrolled down on the spreadsheet, and I didn't notice it said the 16th on there. And I put my name on, and then suddenly realised when they said Sarah was on that he wasn't on that list. So I went and put my name on there, and it came up in a larger print. But I put it all right now, so no one else has been on there since. But yeah, the font size was somehow got altered. So that got me worried a bit when I missed some people that were on there. Yeah, those big dishes there, Simon. Yeah, you'll have fun trying to point that on 10G. It's got some good gearing on the back and a nice hefty stand with 2 tons of concrete under it. So it doesn't have to move far before you won't get a very good signal. I've got a 1.6 here on receive, and that's narrow enough for me. I haven't looked up what the beam width of a 3.7 would be, and possibly as Frank says there, I mean, it depends, I suppose, on the profile of the thing, whether it's actually made accurately enough. You've only got to have a slight twist in it, haven't you? And you're going to have severe problems on 3 SEMs. So to get things accurate at 3 SEMs, it's C-band, quite a long way away, isn't it? What I got on my list here? Oh, greetings to Saro. Haven't seen you for a long time. Nice to see you. And I have a picture here, which just a second. Let me have a look. You'll probably recognise this, Saro. There we are. Still going strong. So hopefully, fingers crossed. Another picture of it with the in its finished state. There we are. It's on the top there. So all working fine. I say we'll not shout that too loud, but it's been working for quite a time now. Let's go back to the shack. There we are. But not keep it too long because a lot of people here. I think I better move it on round. See if I've got any. Oh yeah, but your garage there, John. As long as you remember, you've got a 2-foot drop when you come out of the door, and as long as you don't want to get any sack trucks up there or anything, you need a couple of planks, wouldn't you? Well, presumably you're going to make a step down or something, or a slope to get into the place. But yeah, there'll be no chance putting a car in there, will there? Right, I better put it round back to Gary. And good to see everybody on the net. Greetings to Phil, by the way, and Peter. Who else have we got? John, Saro, Mike, and Gary. So back to Gary, and put my signals coming through okay. So I'll put the test card on. And then back to you, G3 VKV in southwest England.
Okay, let's hope it locks. There we go. Hello, Graham. Very nice to see you. Excellent signal, and the Saro amp's doing its thing indeed. We've had a number of guys on the YouTube. It's 30 odd people viewing. I just want to say hi to some of the guys that have dropped messages on. Ashley Booth, that is Golf Echo 8 Delta Papa Hotel. He says, good to see you back. Hi Ashley, nice to have you watching. And to my dear friend Stuart Clark, ZR1 Whiskey Tango. He says, good afternoon to all. Nice to see you on again there, Stuart. Something fell. Huh. And then, Saro, yeah, there was a little bit of an issue with your audio. It was not the normal Saro audio we know. And you're also running an FEC of 4/5. But other than that, the signal was okay. It's just the mic was terrible. It sounded like a dry connection and a lot of wind in it. It's definitely not your normal quality, so I'm sure you'll sort that out, and you said you would be on next week again. And then Ishmael, nice to see you, Ishmael. Delta Lima 2 India Echo. Haven't seen you for a long time on this link. I'm glad I've gone back to our original streaming link, because there were many guys gets notified automatically. And then Peter Rudolph at DK3 Zulu Fox. Nice to see you, Peter. And he's also OE7 Delta Zulu Foxtrot. And hello to Alfredo in Italy. Italy Kilo 1 Charlie Oscar Alpha, he calls himself. Alfredo in Italy. And then we have Ham Waves. Yeah, that's in India. VU3 Echo Fox Lima. VU3 Echo Fox Lima. Those are the guys that have said hi on this frequency, or on the link at least. And it's very nice to see you guys back on, man. It's been a while. And yeah, Graham, with these lightning strikes, you never know why things go south and other things not. But I'm only too happy not to have lost the Pluto, I can tell you. Anyway, yeah, Mike, yes, you've been as industrious as always, and beautiful cabinet and construction on the linear thing there. And as usual, you make this a very interesting net with wonderful new gadgets that you develop and design there. Saro, I have mentioned. Phil, good to see you. Excellent audio, excellent signal. Cannot complain. What a wonderful signal you have there. And then nice to see you anyway. And Peter, yeah, you put out a very strong signal. Your video is not the standard, you know. You had the standard on video quality. I think you said you're going through NVIDIA. But look, nothing wrong with it, but it's definitely not, as I remember from GW7BZY. You really had an exceptionally good signal. Frank, oh, that was an interesting bit on Sutherland. Yeah, it's as cold as you can get there in winter, exactly. But it's quite remote, so it's an ideal spot for doing the telescopes and so forth. And an old friend of mine, Greg Roberts, ZS1BI, he used to be running the place, but he's retired and he's for whatever reason, he's off ham radio. But he was very interested in satellite communication and things way back in the early 80s. Very knowledgeable chap. I wish he'd come back onto DATV. Yeah, John, well, I think you might have done a deal. You've got a nice radio shack, call it that, with a bit of a storeroom, and I think it's going to work out okay. I hope you get everything sorted and that you can still have a garage, because you need that when the winter comes, don't you? But I'm pleased to see you feeling a lot better. And yeah, 3 years, can't believe 3 years have gone by since the news, hey? But Elman, I'm so pleased you could ring the bell. Yeah, I've got a lot of friends in oncology departments, and in fact the one guy, old Frank, his name's Frank as well, he's a very good pilot, and he was the first guy in South Africa with gamma knife technology. It's a new type of very, very concentrated gamma ray radiation technology, and they are exceptionally expensive. I think the last he told me, this a few years ago, they're about 80 million rand a pop, which would be about £4.5 million. And so far, I think he's got 100 throughout the country, and he owns them, so they all rent it from him, and he oversees, you know, that they're in good working condition. So, and his son has just become an oncologist as well. He did his housemanship and then the years of further study to become a specialist. I think in the UK you call it, what do you guys call it? We call it a specialist, and I think you call it a consultant. I'm not sure. Anyway, he's going to follow in his dad's footsteps and take over the practice, so that's good. And then Graham, as I said, you've got an outstanding signal, good audio, good video, absolutely no problem to read you. So there we go. Okay, we make it one more over. Mike, if you can start the engines, a Golf 0 Mike Juliet Whiskey to take it from ZA6YI.
Okay, thank you, Gary. Good signal there, so no problem. That's the box in its final position. Yeah, all good. Interesting net as always. Good to see a few people on. It was a bit quiet in previous weeks. I'm quite impressed by Phil's camera. The sharpness was very, very good on that one. Much better than mine at the moment. The issue with BZY's video was I think soft focus. Like the camera wasn't set right or something, so I'm sure you'll fix that. Anyway, never mind. Not a lot to add really in terms of things to show. I could always start giving a lecture on how to use FreeCAD to design the foot for a cabinet, but you'll be pleased to know I won't do that. Instead, I'll pass it over to Saru, and hopefully Saru, you'll audio issues have been fixed. But nice to see everybody. Don't think I'll be on next week, so 7-3 for the moment. G0 MJW.
Hello. Yeah, sorry friends, I have some issues. Still I have to fix, I think. I'll do it soon. The signal is fine. I have to fix the audio issue. I am using the new system, so I have to install many things again and I have to do. So 73 is all of you. See you in the next week with the proper audio and proper signal. So 73 is bye-bye.
Yeah, thanks, Sorrow. Yeah, the audio is bit noisy. It sounds as if you've got a million fans going in the background, and also a loose connection. But anyhow, I'm sure you'll sort it by next week. Mike, the camera. It's it's a cheap camera. It's a cheap Chinese clone. It cost me about £8 or something out of our favourite supermarket. It's unbranded. That's the box, and all I can say is that it's HD full, and that's what it is. It cost me about £8, I think, and there we go. So that's the camera that I'm using. The port's down, which I've been running for quite a time, to say the least. It's had, hopefully it doesn't have any more, an intermittent problem, and that is intermittently its output level would jump significantly, which is a bit disconcerting, especially on the satellite, and the signal goes up by about 4 dB or something like that. But anyhow, and I've taken the cover off. I'll show you what it looks like. I'll show you what I'm talking about. There she is. So it's in a 19-inch case. So I've been in and I've gone here, stuck an analyzer on the output, and I've bashed all the cables and the boards and everything, and I have not been able to reproduce it. Put everything back and then run it, and then all of a sudden, whack, up it will go again. And Martin, the King of England, he keeps winding me up about sorting this problem out. So I thought the last few days, I thought I'll go and have a look. And, sorry about that, chaps, you don't want to listen to that. yeah, so I thought I'll have a look. So I took the cover off. Oh no, I didn't. I measured the output of the ports down as I've set it, and I measured it on the analyzer. I thought, right, in I go. Well, took the cover off and I powered it up, and the signal level was 4 dB more. Now, I hadn't noticed it before because I was only looking at the change. So I took the cover off, put the analyzer on, and then looked for a change. And what I should have done was to look at the level that was coming out of the ports down, then take the cover off and do some looking around. I think, only time will tell, I think the problem is, or was, that there's some RF buzzing around inside, and with the cover, the top cover screwed down, sometimes it becomes like a bit of a tuned circuit, like a waveguide. That's what I think, and it upsets everything. Now at the moment I've got 4 dB more out of it with the cover on, but I've only put 3 of the 4 of the 7 screws in the lid. So I think that is what it is. It is with the lid on, there's enough RF inside, and it just screws everything up. But we shall see. But at the moment, I'm getting 4 dB more out of my ports down for the same settings. So there you go. I should keep you posted on that one. So right, that's enough of me. Right, so I'm going to hand it over now to Peter. So I'm going. Have a good week, everybody. So I'm going to find a test card. I'll put up my favourite test card. I do like this one. If I can find it. Where is it? There we go. I do like this test card. Brings back memories. Right. So I'm going to hand it over to you then, Peter. So I'm going.
Not too bad. Should we just wait till... This is Golf Whiskey 7 Bravo Zulu Yankee. This is Golf Whiskey 7 Bravo Zulu Yankee. Without the NVIDIA inline, it does look a better picture, doesn't it? That NVIDIA used to be good, now it's absolute rubbish. It compresses the video, squeezes it both from the top and from the bottom. So it's all grey and wishy-washy, which the young generation seem to like in their films and television, rather than a good punchy sort of picture that of old. Yes, thank you, Gary, on the stand, setting the standard, the gold standard. Yes, that was. The camera's getting older. I don't know how long I've had it now. It must be about 14 years old, but I've had it a good 3 or 4, maybe more, or older still even. So I expect it really wants a service, but. I don't know whether they're going to send it back to Sony. I think the price would be horrendous. What else was I going to say? Oh, okay, on the satellite dishes, yeah, I thought it would probably be better as a transmit dish rather than a receive dish. But whether if you change the focal point, it would compensate for some of it. I might, if the missus will let me, which is very, very unlikely, but we'll get hold of one. It's like I said, the dish is one for £74. I thought, well, that's okay, 1.8 metres or dish, and then it was £500 for the postage shipping costs, so not so good. But anyway, that's just something to look at
Good to everybody. Good to see everybody. Like I said, good to see you, Gary, and everyone else, and Phil, Simon, Frank, and Sarah. I saw Sarah that time online. I think we've got a bit of. I've got a few rain clouds gathering, and it killed you the last time, Gary. And I did thank you for the sending the email address, the Earl, to me there. And I did click onto the YouTube stream. Who else have I not seen? Graham. Yeah, good to see Graham as well. I feel there's somebody that has fallen off my list that wasn't there when I started the list. So I say hello to them as well. With that, I'm going to go. That's the end for me. I don't think I'll be on next weekend. No. Perhaps the following weekend. It's good to see that the worldwide net is still well used, or it's not the word I'm looking for. But anyway, all good. Let's hope it stays that way. From GW7BY. Oh, I was going to ask, does anybody know anything about Mike Martin, FKK? I haven't seen him for a while, not heard of him on any of the nets, so hoping that he's well. Maybe somebody can comment if they know. From GW7BZY. With a test card, perhaps. There we go. Shall we go for a test card? Shall I look into camera set? And over to Simon from GW7BZY. Shall we go for cube zoom? Courtesy of vMix, the best.
Oh, there we go. Just wait for the audio to come over. Come on. There we go. Right. Thanks for that, Peter. Not much more to say. I'll wish everyone good afternoon. As I have the hairy hound, you can see bits of him down in the basket there. 3 o'clock in the afternoon is when this net is on, is very much an afternoon walking time. He gets at least 2 hours in the morning, and then from about 2 o'clock onwards, he keeps coming in and out, trying to convince me to go for a walk. So I'm off out with him. So I don't know if I'll be on next week. Just depends on the weather. If the weather's really good, and we'll go out. I like to go bird watching, and before I move to where I am, and I'll show you more about that next time I'm on. I knew for a fact this would be a fantastic place for bird watching, and I've never been so wrong about anything in my life. It's very poor, but the one thing we do get is birds migrating back to Africa. And that'll sort of be starting in the next week or so. So I've got a very nice Canon camera, and I'll be off. I live just north of the Helford River, so I'm just north of the Lizard Peninsula in Cornwall. I can actually see the Lizard Peninsula from the garden. It's a beautiful place to live, and I'll be leaving here in a cardboard box, a wooden box, but wicker basket, who knows, or the dog will eat me or something. So with that, I wish everyone 7-3. I assume that Frank is going to be around. Just let me check if Frank is still there. Yes, it does appear that Frank's there. Just for what it's worth, this microphone I'm using is a Sennheiser. Very nice Sennheiser mic, not expensive, much cheaper than Heil stuff, that sort of thing. Television companies and so on buy them by the shed load. And camera, well, the encoding's not great. That's due to my software, but the camera's a very nice Anker C200. It's an f2 camera, webcam, about £50, whatever that is in other currencies. So enough rabbiting from me, and yeah, there we go, flipping RF in the shack, mouse not moving. So I wish everyone 7-3, and over to Frank, ZS6GE from G4 ELI.
Yeah, Simon. Mic and camera look alright to me, no problem. Yeah, Simon. Shut up. And I won't hold it. I have to run. Just a comment for Phil. standard procedure is to glue RF absorbent material onto the lid. It looks a little bit like carbon impregnated foam rubber in many cases, a few millimeters thick. And that basically dampens down any standing waves, or whatever you might want to call them. We used them in the past, but that's a long time ago. I can't remember where to find something like that. But I'm sure these days on the internet you can find it, and that should cure the problem. So thanks 73 to everybody, and John, you take it.
I don't know quite what happened there. For some reason the encoding stopped. Right. Yes. Bird watching. I love bird watching. It's like Simon just said. I moved up here, and after living in the New Forest, I pretty much had a regular birds that would come to the garden, in particular a robin that we knew was a migratory robin as opposed to one that stayed here all the time, because it had a white streak through one of its wings, so we recognised it, and it came for a good number of years. We lived there for 9 years, and I reckon it came there for pretty much most of them 9 years. And we had various different wood pigeon and crows. We had a lot of crovid type birds. You mean the magpies, crows, rooks, and everything all around because of the farmland around us. And they were great because they would clear up all the whereas we put plenty of bird seed out and stuff like that. But we also used to put out things like chicken carcasses, and the crows, the rooks, and all of them would come along, and they demolish it. And it was a good way of recycling something that would have ended up in a landfill. So, but we moved up here, and I've put the usual sort of fat balls out and seeds out and water out and all the various things, and we get nothing. I think we've had one magpie, one pigeon. I see a blackbird once, starlings when they were about earlier in the year, when they were all fledging. They would just come in and rob everything and then just go. But it's very barren for the birds, to be honest. The only thing that did happen, the first day we moved in here, the French doors were open, and all of a sudden we had this great big commotion and a big explosion of feathers, and a peregrine had actually taken out, I don't know what bird it was, but it took it out and it absolutely mullered it in our front and our doors. So, but it all happened so fast, I only just about saw the peregrine fly off of it. But there is a raven in the quarry. I live near a quarry, and there is actually a nesting raven over there, which is quite interesting. Not seen too many of those, so that's pretty cool. And I'm surprised that there isn't more protection around it, because it's quite an exposed nest in the quarry wall. But anyway, I guess it does get looked at. Oh, let me just quickly show. So someone said about the garage, getting a car into it for the winter. No, the thing will be living outside. There's no way you'll get a car in here. So I'll quickly show you this photo. Where are we? No, not going to do it, is it? That one. So there's so this is how I get in and out of the thing, basically. So there's the steps up to it. which they built for us. And if I go back to the camera and take that off of there, I'll have to show you on the security camera. But there's the security camera, so you can see there's the parapet wall that runs along. Lots of people wonder what I do in here and how I'll get the car in here and all the rest of it, but I have to tell them it's just a storage unit. I just store my garden tools and stuff in here. I don't want to tell them I've got a complete studio and radios and all the other things in here. So there we go. So I should wish everybody a very good afternoon, morning, daytime, whatever it is. And it's been a pleasure to get back on again, and good to see you. So back round to Graham again, G3 VK. No, I can't say, I've got the glasses on again. I've got to say it right, it is K. I was still worried whether it was the I know someone else is VZV. But anyway, VKV, Graham, G7 JTT. 7-3's all, have a good day and a good next week.
Right, see if I got sound. Where's the vision? Oh, there we are. Yeah, you're not the first person to say that. Let me get the me back. I always get muddled up with the other Graham Sherville, isn't it? BZV. Right, I've got to get quickly through my my little list here. I do like the Lincoln Imps. They're protecting you all right there, John. So you've got a couple on your startup and another one on the corner there. An okay Frank on the observatory. That looks a bit like my garden. That area with all the burnt up grass and or lack of it. We haven't had any rain here for weeks. We've had some the last couple of days, so it should start growing. But it's just like bare earth on the grass here. But certainly a good spot for getting away from the QRM, I should imagine, up down there. If you don't mind the long trek to get there. Let me turn the sound down. I've got lots of sound. That's better. An echo on there. Yeah, we await version 2 there, Simon. I'm about to better get mine on the air. It's ready to go. It just hasn't been connected through the down to the PA downstairs. Well, I must fire it up. Other than that, it's have a go on it and on closed circuit quite often just to see if it's all how it's all going. And yeah, the birds, we get quite a few up here, but they migrate down to the place on the Severn there, I forget what it's called now, where they feed them and have them in the winter. So you get all sorts of birds flying over here in formation at various times of the year, coming down from up the northern areas. And sometimes they land. We've had one or two masses of birds, with maybe 80, 100 of them, landing outside here on a tree, and apparently they were very rare, and before we knew where we were, the whole road was full of cars. Got some photographs. I can't remember what the birds were. They're only small ones, but they were very, very rare. They were all up here with their cameras, and they were right outside the house here. I wonder what everybody was looking at. Audio is fine now, Sarah, on the picture. It's just something, I'm sure you've sorted it now, but audio is back to the normal Sarah. So we'll see you again sometime. And well, another thing you could shout out instead of walkies or the doorbell is shout out Alexa, couldn't you? You might get somebody's TV to switch on or something. But yeah, and you're looking up the beam width of a 3.7. You've got 49 dBi gain there, Simon, and 0.55 beam width degrees. So, but that's obviously on the 3 SEMs, not on 2.3. But yeah, it must be very nice. I know Mike's got a big dish. Very nice to be only run 8 to 9 watts. Instead of having to run, I'm running about 50 here to a 1 meter, but It's I've had well over 200 out of it, Sarah, if you're still listening. Just testing it to see what happened, but I didn't keep it on for too long at that level. But I'm sure it would go up easily to 200, 240, just to test it. I've got another one here which I'm going to set up, which as a backup for yours. I haven't got it working yet. Someone else has got one as well. It's another Nokia one, but a different type. As you can see in the background, that's the cactus. I did have a go at breeding a lot of these. I had 100 of them at one time, all the same sort, all bred off that one in the middle. This was taken a while back, and that one in the middle now is almost twice that height. And they all, provided they come from the same one, which they are, they're all related to one another, and provided they're in the same location, they all flower exactly at the same minutes, and they last 24 hours, the flowers, and they drop off. It's apparently it's a hedgehog cactus, it's called, comes from South America. But yeah, the flowers last 24 hours and they just drop off. But you can see it's going to flower, and then the next day it does. And then the day after that, they all fall off. So, but I've got, I don't know why I ended up with 100 of them. I was hoping people would have some, but nobody wanted to know. They don't like cactuses. But prolific breeder, it has lots of little ones all the time. And as I say, I've got some more in another room, and they flowered another time, but all at the same time. So it's obviously very fine alterations in temperature and various other things which trigger them to flower. Anyway, I better say cheers to everybody. I think I've got anything else on my list here. A good chat today and a good turnout. Oh yes, I was going to say, yeah, your camera there, Phil. Yeah, it's excellent. I'm sure from what you've said before, you know your stuff with lighting. So that's the problem that I've got here. I haven't got any proper lighting. That's why there's shadows in all directions. So that's something else to sort out. Anyway, go back to this shack, and cheers to everybody. Very nice talking with you, and as I say, nice to see you back, Gary. So G3VKV signing out of the Worldwide Net, and back to ZS6YI to wind it up. Cheers, everybody.
Okay, Graham. Excellent signal. No problem to copy anyone. I am going to wind up the net. I found my camera switched off, and Simon alluded to that. I think it was yesterday. Simon said you had a high temperature alarm, and then I had no video. And it happened again now, Simon. So I felt the camera is hot. Now, normally I have a big air conditioner that keeps everything cool in the room. But that also got struck by lightning, and so therefore I must still sort that out. And I better do it quickly because our summer is fast approaching. It was very hot today, I must say. And yeah, I'm sure I talk on behalf of all the radio amateurs to thank Simon for the fantastic work he does as a software developer on SDR console, and of course now on the DATV side. You brought a lot of interest to it. I've been monitoring different stations up and down the bands over the period. I could still receive with a new receiver, and it was amazing to see how many guys have at least dipped their toe in the DATV world. So wonderful, Simon, well done. Right, guys, I'm going to say cheers, and there's 54 viewers. Can you believe 54 viewers? Adam came on as well, SB9 Alpha Charlie Quebec. How's it, Adam? We must get you on the band as well. I do see you from time to time, so don't be shy. Come and join us. And yeah, 54 viewers. That's fantastic, guys. It's nice to have the old link on. And so it, if you hit the subscribe button, I think they call it, or follow, whatever they call it on YouTube, then you automatically get a warning or a message that our DATV net's on. And it's not long from now, and then the time will change for the UK because your clocks move, I think, forward. And so, but we stay at 1400 UTC. We've tried all sorts of times, and it never suits everybody, unfortunately. It's either too late or too early for South America, or too late for India, and so we eventually settled on this time. I know in the summer in the UK it's not ideal, but in the winter it's fine. And Simon says, back clocks, move back. Yeah, you're right, Simon. I must get my head around the right hemisphere. Luckily, we stay stable. That's the only thing that we have that's stable. Yeah, spring forward, fall back. There we go. Anyway, guys, 7:03, I'm closing the net now. And I'm going to try just putting the Sunday thing on while I start switching off the links. So this is ZS6, why I operate in the worldwide DATV net. Thanking everyone for coming up today and the 54 viewers on YouTube. Wonderful to have you guys back. And thanks to all the participants today. Everyone contributed something really positive to make it a nice net. All the best. See you guys around. This is ZS6 Yankee India. Now QRT.